Hi, my name is Stacey Hausch, and I'm putting the 1000 Ripple Effects book project together. And today I'm actually interviewing two of the authors. We've got Kean and Kathleen Buckley, and they're going to be interviewed together. They are husband and wife, and they've been together for how long now?
11 years.
Okay, 11 years.
Yeah.
Is it more? No, it's not.
10th of October, 11 years. Yeah, we met a few months before that, but we're really seriously dating 10th of October. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've been married for quite some time, and over the time that I have known them, I have seen a very beautiful couple, a very magical connection between male and female energies between these two. And it is an absolute pleasure to watch them when they talk to each other, when they interact with each other, and when they interact with other people as well. And I invited them to write a story for the book, and they both said yes. So I'm very honored. How did we meet?
it was a proper light workers course. So literally, as a couple of people that run Tesla, which is
No, not us. You and Stacey, I think.
How did we meet? How did we meet?
How did we meet?
How did we meet? Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Health, Harmony and Soul. Was it there through Cameron and Lisa? Or did we meet at their stand, or was it at Health, Harmony and Soul? I'm thin on the memory here. You know?
It was quite a number of years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm pretty sure it was at an expo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Health, Harmony and Soul. We were vibing with all those guys. Is that right? You know.
How we actually met was through Facebook.
Yeah, right.
Because there was
Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you.
It was actually through Facebook.
Right.
And Kean had actually put up a post on Facebook about be yourself.
Right.
And I'd clicked on it, so, oh, that sounds really interesting. I really like the sound of that. And I responded, and we've just connected since.
You're right. It was Facebook before. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Yep, long time ago.
Yeah, it is. That's 6 or 7 then. Yeah.
Now, you guys do some really interesting work. It's very personal development. It's very deep personal development work. And I've been having conversations with these guys this afternoon about the types of people that come through their courses. They're doing retreats, and they work in very small groups, one-on-one with the people. And their retreats are about helping people to achieve what they really want to achieve. Got that right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm the more the talker. Kath will say something. They come along with a... sometimes they don't know. I mean, my personal belief is it's the old stuff that's been around thousands of years. They're looking to seek their true self, and they're actually barely scratched the awareness of their true self. So when we together, because it was a bit my project, then Kath really came in and supported me hugely. So when we first got the website beyourself.com.au, there was only one other site that was taken in the world, only 10 years ago, 11 in April, January, sorry, beyourself.com. So a beautiful little girl with fluffy toys and, stuff that was puppies and that kind of thing. And it was just as much being yourself as my stuff, but she wasn't seen as a be yourself person because she was just posting her favourite stuff. So then when Kath and I got together, I said, look, I've always wanted to help people be themselves, and Kath was really helping me to get back on the horse, so to speak. And I'd been in personal development 10 years, and it had ended poorly with a group of people I put my heart and soul into, to be honest. And a few friends got behind me and said, look, you can really do this. Then Elizabeth at Living Now, who runs the magazine, said, I want to give you a speaking spot as the icebreaker at the Living Now Festival 10 years ago. And then from then, I did a lot of speaking at the shows, and then we came together to form the retreats very, very quickly, and they went really well. I'm answering the question here. So Be Yourself is really the focus of our work, but the bottom line is we're really, really happy if people say, I just want to love Harry better, or I don't love myself, or I can't let go of this thing that happens to me, or I'm just discontented for some reason. And what we discovered, and I had been working on it for about 10 years before professionally, is that really most of the initial problems in most people's lives is 0 to 6 years of age. It's normally with parents, and it normally is more important than the psychology, which everyone's into and everyone can get it on YouTube, etc., is a felt sense of the spiritual connection with parents again. And also they're now proving in epigenetics it's about 3 generations that affect us. So if we have ongoing problems in the families, those generations affect us. But I discovered like an advanced process that one of my teachers tells me is an advanced I can't think, Vedic process, and I had an awakening, a full Kundalini awakening after a Vedic process where this energy shot up my spine, nearly snapped my neck off. Please turn this music off, it was hurting me so much, I had so much energy going through me. At the same time, I think I was imprinted by a lot of really clever stuff, so I just knew that we needed to connect with our spiritual ancestors, the history, and they're not really ancestors, there's no time involved. There's this great big revolution of spirit or understanding that's outside of the normal realm of the brain. So when you open that up, people just become themselves again. They become more coherent with the masculine and the feminine, the brain balances, the body balances. I used to be very big on this side from tennis, and thanks to Kath's yoga, 'cause she's a yoga teacher, I can balance on both hands now, which I never could before in my 50s. We just do whatever it takes to help people, because it's a bit like family. When one of your kids is sick or someone's doing really well but they're wanting something else, as a family you'll get together to try to help. That's what you do, and that's what we do, don't you think? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Well, I think people turn looking from the other side. I think that people turn up and it's like they've got a feeling or something, like an itch that needs to be scratched, and they're kind of looking at it. Kean just helps them. He just kind of points at it until they feel it, and then it goes away. Then, like, magically, it wasn't that bad after all, and they're not carrying that thing around anymore, and it's just a random feeling. Like, the story around it really doesn't matter. It's just the feeling. So I think that's what you help people do, like on an actual, like, practical level. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they shift it, and then it's not there anymore, so it's not in the way, and they can just do a whole heap of stuff that's,
Yeah, and she's like, sometimes men get credit. 'Cause it sounds like I'm getting credit here. Like the Mother Tao created the universe, right? So this everything that was before nothingness, that is still as anything, created this stuff that eventually ended up with a whole bunch of planets and all this stuff that we do in astrology and stuff. And I study that stuff. It really interests me. So Kath, she sort of comes in. She's the smartest woman I know. My mum's like second in the country in English. Very famous. Blah blah blah. But Kath is really shrewd. So she really, anytime I think I've got my feet on the ground and I'm centered and whatever, she can just find a rug and pull it out. Next thing I'm pulling on my back. Yes. And we're not so much a couple that like gushy. We're very gushy and very, very in love, but we're really into personal growth. Not in a crazy perspective. It's just I really want to be the real deal. And so she helps me. If any time I think I'm centered, she can find where I'm wobbly, which I want to know. So most of our work we do is on volcanic land. This is in a volcanic land ball. There's a glasshouse mountains, all volcanic there. We go to Bali, we go to Hawaii, India, where basically big mountains came up as a result of things. So we like land that's got some ground to it. And all the real people I respect at the moment, the shamanic, indigenous types, they revere the land. So it's so important for us to be on land that I can feel is giving us something. So we try to do nothing and let our clients work it out. So Kath is like the nothing, and then when she comes in, whenever she comes in to say something, they really listen, and I guess itch the scratch and help them. I call them farts. They're like farts. If you can get people to have a fart that's stuck in there for 1,000 years, they're enlightened after it, seriously, and they generally laugh. England was born on fart humour for 20 years. It made everyone laugh because everyone had a cork up the bum. Where I grew up, there was no flow in the body. We were all a bit upper stiff upper lip, trying to be proper, Don't you think, darling?
I think it's actually really good. I think what Kean's saying here is like you're very much the stable. You're the one that goes out and does a lot of the work. But Kath here is your support system, and she can actually see where you need to be strengthened.
Yeah, totally.
She's not necessarily pulling the rug out from under you.
Yeah.
She's just saying, hey, you just need to look at this tiny little bit over here. And just adjust it a little bit. There we go. Now you're on track again.
Exactly right. One of my kids is crushed going to school at the moment, and it's only just big energy, and she's small, and there's big year 6 boys.
New class.
New class, start of the year, it's only 4th day of school, and, tears and the whole thing. I went to Catholic schools when I was a Protestant. I used to get beatings for being a Protestant. I didn't even know why. It was really tough as a kid. I had a really crappy start the first 10 years of my school, and I was an altar boy in a Catholic thing as a Protestant. It was weird, anyway. So that aside, I still probably haven't resolved that harmoniously within myself. So my daughter's there the other day, and with all the skills I have, I eventually say, do you want to leave the school, Kaya? So she shoots back into the class, moves quicker than the speed of light, and then she says to Mum, Dad's a bit tough. And I'm really trying to be soft, and I didn't have the capacity. I do have it. When she was born, I thought she was dead because I didn't feel her. So she was born in water, so relaxed, as opposed to my first daughter that was born in fire, came out like an angry Maori, scared the hell out of me, blood and black hair, and I thought someone else's baby for sure. And she was like Mars on steroids, and Kai was just like, Mother Gaia on water. She was just, so I had to, honestly, when you think of your kid's dead when they're coming out, that's a critical moment in your life, right? So I knew in my heart that she wasn't, but I couldn't feel her, so I opened my heart to another level, and then I felt her heart beating, and I felt her, and it was one of the most profound moments of my life. I had to change my sensitivity. And that's what she said I've got to do with Kyra again now. It's just soft, give her the mother, and just let her cry, which people didn't do for me. Catholic nuns didn't say you're having a tough day, you have a little cry, and I'll just wait 5 hours while you get your choky cries out. They just bang, get in and toughen up. So I guess we do our best to be really sensitive, and I only work with clients that I can feel their issues. So it's not a mental thing. If they call me up and tell me, if they tell me they've got PTSD or this or that or bad thing, and I've worked with everything, if I feel I have a connection with them and I can feel their journey, then I can help them. If not, I just say, look, it's not for me. And I generally don't. I don't have too many mates I can refer. I don't know too many people yet.
Absolutely.
But so I don't try to, because when I send them somewhere else, I don't know what's going to happen. Whereas I know what will happen with me. Okay. Yes, I can help, or no, I can't. And Kath does the food. It's a very, very big part. The yoga, big fart. It's a really big part of what we do. Well, we believe the Hippocrates thing: food's thy medicine, and medicine's thy food. But also, you are what you eat.
But Kath is also nourishing everybody as well.
Yeah.
You know, she's in charge of nourishing their bodies and their souls with what's going in.
Yeah.
And that's really important, the nutritional side of things as well. Because if the nutrition isn't balanced, then the brain can't actually learn new information.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the really cool yoga teachers around her are getting onto her and getting her to do the food on their retreat. So it's, she's book her now. She's great.
Woohoo! Okay.
So
your work is very important work, and it's all about making sure that people are being themselves.
Yeah.
It's about people coming to you saying, I really want to do this in my life, but I'm struggling just a little bit. And you help them overcome those struggles. You help them overcome those blocks or those obstacles.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the magic just happens. It's like, ding, the light goes on. And it's like, oh, they did it. And you're like these really proud parents that are going, you did it, you did it. And they're going, yes, I did. And they're there just being themselves.
Yes.
Now, what made you say yes to being an author in the book?
I was the one that grabbed it, and I know Kath will. There's things I do well, she does well, but when I grab something and say, look, this is something I really, really want to do, have that cough if you need it, all right? I just felt it was the right thing to do, same as the last question. So if I can feel something, I know I have a part to it. So this morning I'm out doing my meditation by that tree there, which I still cannot believe how beautiful that tree is. It's like a twin flame kind of thing, not that I'm pushing the twin flame thing. I'm putting my hands on the branches, and I'm feeling the tree like more than I ever have, and I've lived here 11 years, So when we slow down, like I was saying before, we kind of get it. So when you said it, it just felt right. I've got a few things I've done before, and they've been fine, and it's good. But I just went, yeah, that'd be nice. And I like the idea of the ripple effect, because I speak about 100 monkeys, a fair bit, and consciousness, and when people raise their awareness, it's amazing what we can all do. So I'm more the yang kind of person out of us two, like I'm out there and I'll bring home what we need. Funny enough, this year I'm working on the yin, but generally I'm more out there. So when I put my fingers out and felt the energy of this coming in, I felt what you're going to create on some level. And obviously what we're going to write about, I still don't know, because it's yet to be created, because everything for me is in the moment, So, but there's these waves are coming this way, our waves are coming that way, and when I start to feel the, whatever happens, whether they're coherent or dissonant or whatever, or they come together and do their wonderful thing, and all help each other, it's okay, And then I know Kath, when she's asked a question, and we've just got to think of 5 questions or one for her, she answers. She's like my brother. She's really profound how she answers it. So what she'll do is add that underlayer or whatever is needed to just carry things, you know.
Okay.
So I was drawn to it because it was useful. Like, I like to be useful. Like to
Yeah.
come up with stuff that people can use and then, you know, take off, and you don't know what they, you know, where they're going to use it. So I work with kids a bit, and that's nice to, you know, hear little stories back and go, you know, someone, this breathing technique helped them out, you know, that they learned at yoga at school that day with that lady, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, useful. So I like to be, of use. So that's why I was drawn to your project.
Okay.
Because it will hopefully be useful to someone, you know. As in, people will be inspired, or, you know, the thing as a whole, you know. So it's nice to be a part of something like that.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we're
you
heading
very, very
that
much.
way ourselves now with projects and things that we're doing, that we want things that we can kind of leave. I've done things before, but like, you know, things that are there for a long time, so people can look at that funny old YouTube for 20 years ago or whatever, you know, everything, and just go, well, that helped me. Kath just had a young girl from school, her sister just died in a car accident. She told the teachers that she's able to sleep because of a breathing technique Kath taught her, from a trauma that happened really quite recently. I've got a guy that called me that, you know, nothing to do with the work I'm doing now, but I'm 25 teaching phys ed back in England, and this guy is the chief lawyer at British Airways, calls me up and says, you saved my life. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you taught me a breathing technique when I was whatever, I had an asthma attack, no puffer, no steroids near me, I've got 2 kids, I was going to die, and I remember what you told me. It was like a thing, and I can really feel it strongly now. It was so special, you know, and he's alive because of something that came to me. I didn't even know about breathing techniques when I was 23, so I must have made up something intuitively. So this is, I'm speaking to people now who don't believe in themselves and think they've got to read a book or do whatever. What I hope we'll write about is that they already have that gift inside themselves, and if they can recognize it and know that it's so solid and it always works for them, every day it's worked for them for the whole of their life, and even if the whole rest seems like a pile of poo, that gift cannot be destroyed. It's themselves, you know, and that's probably what we'll write about.
And that's perfect, and that's exactly what this book project is about. It's about connecting with those people, and you may and may not ever meet them. They're going to read your stories, and they're going to learn something from each of you. You're going to be the mum and the dad that they don't have. And you will either hold their hand, you're going to hug their heart, you're going to love them when they never had that love, and you're going to believe in them and be their cheer squad.
Spot on.
And you may meet them one day and you may never meet them. But just know that Kean and Kathleen's story in this book is going to touch the hearts of these kids everywhere, all around the world. And that's what we're looking for. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for sharing just a very small part of who you are.
Thanks, love.
And your hearts and your love for all these people and these kids. And we look forward to meeting them again. Okay, so we will meet Kean and Kathleen again at some point throughout the book project. Anyway, go to the website, check it all out, become an author in the book. It's www.1000rippleeffects.com.